Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the third episode in our series, Who is Jesus Christ? In this video, we are going to be talking about how Jesus Christ is the express image of God. This idea comes from Hebrews chapter 1 verse 3, where, amongst other things, the author of Hebrews said that Jesus Christ is the brightness of God's glory and the express image of his person. To be an image of someone is to project that person's ideas, personality, goals, purpose, etc. You embody that, right? You show that to other people. And Jesus Christ did that with his words and with his lifestyle. Let's start off with how he did that with his words. Jesus Christ used many occasions to try to get us to understand the way God thinks and reasons. For example, in Luke chapter 21 verses 1 to 4, he used the event of the widow offering just 2 mites to help us understand how God does not look at the monetary value of the offering. That's what humans look at, right? How much is it worth in terms of cash? But he looks at how much we value the offering. He looks at the spiritual side, right? And through that, we can understand how to do charity, how to give church offerings, and all other kinds of things. We begin to understand how God perceives those things through that simple story. In Matthew chapter 19, verses 1 to 9, Jesus Christ also spoke the mind of God on marriage, and how even though Moses did technically legalize divorce in Deuteronomy chapter 24, verses 1 to 4, that does not mean that becomes God's idea. That is, God created marriage so that it could be ended at any time. He distinguished God from what humans did to manage society. So he helped us to understand the mind of God regarding that matter. And in John chapter 4, verses 20 to 24, he also helped us understand that since God is an invisible person, since he's a spirit, if we want to connect with a spiritual person, it has to be done spiritually, through the mind, through the heart, and not through physical things that we do with our fellow man, right? Jesus Christ also embodied or was an image of God by the way he lived his life. Jesus Christ was able to capture the personality of God by the way he did things. Take a look at the humility he had, for example. The Bible tells us that Jesus Christ created humanity, right? By the instruction of God. If you read Colossians chapter 1, verses 15 to 17, John chapter 1, verses 1 to 3, and other passages. Yet, he related with human beings in a more humble fashion. Not like, oh, I'm your Lord, so you guys got to obey me kind of thing. But he was actually serving other people. If you read John chapter 13, verses 1 to 15, by washing people's feet, by having compassion on others, healing people, and so on. He was serving the community. And this largely reflects God's desire to bring humanity back to himself and restore them to the perfect state that they were in originally in the Garden of Eden. If you read Acts chapter 3, verses 19 to 21, 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13, and many other passages across the scriptures. But Jesus Christ also showed courage and doggedness and discipline and no tolerance for nonsense. The way he drove the money changers out of the temple in Matthew chapter 21 verses 12 and 13, or the way he cursed the Pharisees in Matthew chapter 23 verses 13 to 39. So some people like to just take the compassion and love of Christ and say that is everything about Jesus. But he also showed that other side. Because God himself too, although he is a forgiving person, 100%, right? If you read Psalm 130 verses 3 and 4 and so on, there is also that other side, which is the other like 50 or even 60% of the Bible that we read. How God would take vengeance on his enemies, how God punishes those who disobey him, which sometimes is his own people, right? When they veer off and so on. So Jesus Christ showed both sides of God. He is a perfect image of our Creator. And thus, when we study his life in detail, we are actually studying God's own philosophy, personality, perception of life, etc. And that is why in John chapter 14 verse 9, when Philip was asking Jesus to show him the Father, he was like, Have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. And how sayest thou then, shew us the Father? If you also read Matthew chapter 11, verse 27, Jesus Christ had also said, all things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son, but the Father. Neither knoweth any man the Father, save the Son, and he to whomsoever the Son will reveal him. A large part of that revealing process is looking at the image that Jesus Christ showed us of God's personality and so on. And in John chapter 1, verse 18, the writer of the book of John had further said, no man hath seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. Since Jesus Christ came from heaven, then he has a very good understanding of who God is, so he could now act that for us in human form. And to conclude, in 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 21, the Apostle Peter, based on everything we've said, advised us that we walk in the footsteps of Christ. Because by walking in the footsteps of Christ, we're actually walking in the footsteps of God, which is exactly what we as Christians want to do. He said, for even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. So I choose to end here on discussing how Jesus Christ is the express image of God. If you have any questions on anything that I said, then I'd appreciate if you put them in the comment section below. And if you want to know when I come back with another video, then you can click the notification bell. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.